We've all been told the same lie. 8 hours of sleep is the gold standard for health. But have you ever wondered why some people can wake up at 5 a.m. after just 6 hours feeling like a powerhouse, while you, after a full 9 hours, feel like you've been hit by a truck? The mystery isn't in your bed, it's in your biochemistry. There is an invisible process happening in your neural pathways that determines if those 8 hours are actually restoring you or just wasting your time. Most people treat sleep like a battery charger, but science proves it's more like a sanitation crew. If your brain's waste management system, the glymphatic system, is offline, it doesn't matter if you stay in bed for half a day. Your brain will remain toxic and your energy will stay at zero. Today, we are moving past the sleep more cliché. We're diving into the heavy-hitting neuroscience of sleep pressure and circadian misalignment to show you why your 8 hours are failing you. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to reset your internal clock and flush out the fatigue molecules that are keeping you tired. Let's get into the data. You slept 8 hours last night, maybe even 9, and yet, right now, you feel exhausted. Most people assume the answer is simple: sleep more. But what if that advice is completely wrong? Because here's what the science actually shows. The number of hours you sleep is almost irrelevant. What destroys your energy is something happening inside your brain while you sleep, something most doctors never mention. In the next 9 minutes, I'm going to show you the real biological reason you're always tired. And one of the most surprising parts comes near the end, so stay with me. Every single day, over 30% of adults report chronic fatigue. That's 1 in 3 people, constantly running on empty. The standard advice: sleep 7 to 8 hours. And yet, people who follow that advice still feel destroyed. Why? Because we've been measuring the wrong thing. We measure duration. Science measures quality. And those two things are completely different. Sleep isn't just rest. It's an active biological process. Your brain doesn't shut down when you sleep. It switches modes. It becomes a cleaning machine, a memory consolidator, a hormonal factory. And when that process gets disrupted, even for a single night, the damage is measurable. Here's what actually makes you tired. Every second you're awake, your brain produces a chemical called adenosine. Think of it as a fatigue molecule. It accumulates, and the longer you stay awake, the more of it builds up. When adenosine reaches a critical level, your brain sends a simple signal: sleep now. This is called sleep pressure, and it's one of the most powerful drives in human biology. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When you sleep, your brain is supposed to flush that adenosine out completely, like resetting a counter to 0. But if your sleep is fragmented, if you wake up multiple times without knowing it, that flush never completes. You wake up, 8 hours on the clock. But your adenosine levels? Still elevated, sometimes by 40 to 60%. That's why you feel like you haven't slept at all. Because biologically, you haven't. But adenosine is only part of the story. Your body runs on a 24-hour internal clock. It's called the circadian rhythm, and it controls everything: body temperature, hormone release, metabolism, and yes, sleep quality. This clock is regulated primarily by light. In the morning, light signals your brain to release cortisol, the alertness hormone. At night, darkness triggers melatonin, the sleep hormone. Simple, right? Except modern life has completely broken this system. Blue light from screens at night tells your circadian clock it's still daytime. Your melatonin never releases properly. You fall asleep, but your brain never enters deep sleep mode. And here's something even more surprising. The effects of circadian disruption don't stop when you wake up. One study found that a single week of irregular sleep schedules reduced cognitive performance by the equivalent of 24 hours of total sleep deprivation. 1 week, same number of hours of sleep, just irregular timing. That is how powerful your circadian clock is. Wait, because what I'm about to explain next is the part that surprised me the most. It's about what happens inside your brain during sleep that almost nobody talks about. In 2013, neuroscientists discovered something extraordinary. While you sleep, specifically during deep sleep, your brain activates a waste clearance system. It's called the glymphatic system. During deep sleep, brain cells actually shrink by up to 60%. This opens channels between cells, and cerebrospinal fluid flushes through, clearing out toxic proteins, including beta amyloid, the protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. Your brain literally cleans itself at night. But this cleaning only happens during stage 3 deep sleep and during REM sleep. If you're waking up at night, even briefly, you're interrupting these cycles. The cleaning doesn't complete. The toxic proteins accumulate. Over months and years, this isn't just fatigue. Chronic poor sleep is now directly linked to higher rates of neurodegenerative disease, metabolic disorders, and cardiovascular risk. 8 hours means nothing if you're not reaching the right stages. If you're finding this useful, consider subscribing. Every week, we break down the science your body runs on. No fluff, just evidence. So let's bring this all together. You sleep 8 hours. But here's what might actually be happening. Your adenosine isn't being fully cleared because your sleep is fragmented. Your circadian rhythm is disrupted because of light exposure and irregular timing. Your glymphatic system never completes its cycle because you never reach deep REM. The result? You wake up after 8 hours feeling exactly like you didn't sleep at all, and you're not imagining it. Your biology confirms it. The problem was never the amount of sleep. It was always the quality. So what can you actually do about this? First, protect your circadian rhythm. Get natural light in the first 30 minutes of waking every morning. This sets your internal clock, and it will improve your melatonin release at night. Second, cut blue light exposure at night. Not dim it, cut it. 60 to 90 minutes before sleep. Your melatonin levels can increase by up to 55% with this single change. Third, consistent sleep timing. Same bedtime, same wake time. Every day, including weekends. Your circadian clock cannot tolerate social jet lag. Fourth, optimize your deep sleep. Cool room temperature between 18 and 20 degrees Celsius significantly increases time spent in deep sleep. Alcohol destroys REM sleep. Even one glass reduces REM by up to 24%. These aren't hacks. These are what your biology was designed for. Let's recap what we covered today. Fatigue isn't about how many hours you sleep. It's about adenosine clearance, circadian alignment, and glymphatic function. When those 3 systems fail, you can sleep 10 hours and still feel exhausted. When they work, 6 quality hours will feel better than 9 broken ones. Your body has the biology to sleep well. You just need to stop fighting against it. Next week, we're going deep into brain function, specifically how chronic stress physically rewires your neural pathways. It's one of the most underreported effects in modern neuroscience. Subscribe to Healthy Body Science if you want more science-based insights that help you work with your body, so you don't miss it.